They called it manifest destiny, the belief that America was destined to conquer the continent. But behind that sacred-sounding phrase was something far darker. Stolen land, broken treaties, massacres. These are 10 chilling truths about manifest destiny they never taught you in school, but you'll never forget. Fact number 1. It was justified as God's will. Manifest destiny wasn't just policy, it was preached from the pulpit. Americans believed it was their sacred duty to spread civilization, even if it meant slaughtering entire nations. Newspapers, pastors, and politicians framed it as divine, so any resistance wasn't just disobedient, it was sinful. This belief turned genocide into a godly act. Fact number 2. Entire tribes were erased. We know of hundreds of tribes, but there were likely thousands we never even recorded. Entire languages, customs, and belief systems were wiped out before they were ever documented. One scholar called it the largest cultural extinction in human history. And in many cases, there were no survivors left to correct the story. Fact number 3. Settlers carried out massacres. At Sand Creek, U.S. troops were ordered to attack a peaceful native village. They slaughtered over 230 people, mostly women and children. One soldier later testified that babies were thrown into the air and shot like targets. These weren't rogue actions, they were official campaigns, sometimes rewarded with medals. Fact number 4. The U.S. broke nearly every treaty. The government signed over 370 treaties with native nations, each one a legal promise. But almost everyone was broken, rewritten, or ignored. In some cases, land was taken before the ink even dried. Today, these same broken treaties are being used in court to fight modern land theft centuries later. Fact number 5. Native children were taken and reprogrammed. Tens of thousands of native children were kidnapped from their families and placed in boarding schools. There they were beaten for speaking their language, forced to cut their hair, and sometimes buried in unmarked graves behind the school. Many families never found out what happened to their children. They simply vanished. Fact number 6. Slavery expanded because of freedom. As new land opened up, so did the need for forced labor. Texas entered the U.S. as a slave state, and many territories used expansion as an excuse to preserve slavery. Some Southern leaders even argued that slavery itself was destiny, ordained by God, just like expansion. Freedom for some meant chains for others. Fact 7. The West was built on prison labor. After slavery ended, Western states used a loophole in the 13th Amendment, slavery as punishment for a crime. Black men were arrested for petty or invented charges, things like vagrancy or not carrying proof of employment. They were then leased to railroads, mines, and farms. The Wild West was built not by cowboys, but by prisoners. Fact 8. Mexico lost half its country. The U.S. invaded Mexico under the guise of defense, then demanded half its territory. That land includes California, Arizona, New Mexico, and more. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo promised rights to Mexican citizens, but within decades, most had their lands stripped through legal loopholes and intimidation. It wasn't just conquest, it was colonialism rebranded. Fact 9. Some tribes were declared extinct, while survivors still lived. In the 1900s, the U.S. government declared tribes like the Massachusetts and Pequot extinct, even as their descendants walked among them. Why? Because if a tribe was legally extinct, the government could take their land. No lawsuits, no resistance. It was genocide by bureaucracy. Fact 10. We still live in the shadow of manifest destiny. The belief that this land is ours never died. It just changed shape. It's in oil pipelines that cut through sacred land. It's in Supreme Court cases that still deny tribal sovereignty. And it's in every textbook that still calls conquest progress. Manifest Destiny never ended. It became American DNA. Manifest Destiny was marketed as a dream, but it was built on nightmares. Entire peoples were erased so a nation could grow. If this changed the way you see history, subscribe to Knowriosity. We dig up what others bury.